Back for the top of the 8th at Eldredge Park. Shane Telfer back to work. Here's Telfer's first pitch and a swing and a miss. So 0-1 starts the at-bat to Trevor Werner, designated hitter and the cleanup batter. He walked in the first, reached on an error in the fourth, grounded out to Nate Furman in the 5th, his 4th at-bat of the game. It's 1-1 to Werner. The pitch, Werner. Held off. And it's 2-1 to Werner. Telfer's pitch, Werner fouls it off, was a little late.
And Telfer's done a much better job of, getting ahead in counts or even evening counts since issuing those 2 walks. Does have a strikeout to his name from the 7th inning.
2-2 pitch. This is hit on a line over the leap of Furman and into right field. Werner with an aggressive turnaround first will shut it down and return to the bag with a leadoff single. So they answer the leadoff single from the Birds in the bottom of the 7th with one of their own. Werner on base for the 3rd time, but his first trip earning it with the bat. And with 1 away, or 1 on, nobody out, Grayson Tatro coming to the plate. We'll get the answer to our Landho trivia question.
Well, the question was, in which year did the All-American Girls Baseball League start? Had a few options, but the correct answer, 1943, is the correct answer, and your Landho trivia question of the night.
It's probably what I would have guessed. 0-1. And I don't want to sound pretentious saying that, but option 42, 43, what are the other 2 options?
25 or 54?
Now, it's connected to the Second World War, so that narrows it down to 42 or 43. 1942, first year in the war. And 1943, the year that a lot of America's athletes became servicemen. So, good decision in the United States as the runner goes, and this is hit into right field. Humphrey is over there. Now a long throw is Werner trying to get back to the bag. It skips over the first baseman, Kiesel, and that's why you back up. Garrick Gilmet over there to snuff out any disaster. There's 1 away in the top of the 8th.
Well, and Jack, while you departed us there for a couple of innings, our beat writer Jack Loader stepped in and we had a little conversation about the best movies, or baseball movies that is. One of them that came to our heads was A League of Their Own,
which just turned 20, if I am correct, about a week ago.
Did not know that.
I think it was 1992. Tom Hanks, also appearing in that, surprisingly enough, was Madonna. At the time, she was a superstar. A very good cast, very accomplished cast in A League of Their Own. A lot of people will tell you it's a sleeper as one of Tom Hanks' better movies. Now, we could go on and on about the run that Hanks had in the 90s, but right now the Firebirds need to keep runs off the base paths for the Whitecaps and score some of their own. This is flared to right field. It's going to slice into the crowd, which remains here at Eldredge Park down the right field line for strike 1.
Well, the crowd tonight here at Eldredge, a little bit bigger than I would have expected, considering this a rescheduled game. And for those that are tracking along with the Firebird schedule as, just the original printout that they've maybe got stuck on their fridge, not supposed to be having a game tonight, but they made a nice showing out tonight.
Well, Garrick Gilmet has such an appetite for backpacks, and you can understand why, because Gilmet has been so successful at them this season. And anything you can do as a catcher to expand your role from just receiving the pitch makes you that much more valuable. Gilmet caught that a little low, says home plate umpire Tyler Bullock.
Well, and you just saw on your screen a moment ago a couple of Whitecaps warming in the bullpen. So we'll see who we get. One of them out there warming up was Colton Sundloff out of Oklahoma.
Runner goes. Gilmet's throw takes a big hop, and that allows Werner to get in there safely. So with one away, and the count at 2-2, Brewster with another runner in scoring position.
Yeah, and for the Firebirds, Chris Clark has been warming for much of the inning, so expect to see him at least in the ninth, if not later in the inning, for Shane Telfer's sake. Hopefully able to escape the eighth unscathed.
And the pitch. That gets between the legs of Gilmet. Over to third is Werner. And now the runner 90 feet away with one out. That just went through the wickets.
Yeah, now a 3-2 count and a runner at third. So Telfer really going to need to dig deep here, see if he can't come up with a big strikeout or an unproductive out as the Firebirds pull their infield in on the grass.
This is hit hard right over the head of McCleary, who had a leap, but that's going to bring home Werner. It's 4-1 Whitecaps. Well, that's the danger of the runner moving up 90 feet. They pulled in the infield in the hopes that a ground ball would be able to cut down Werner at the plate. Instead, it's hit right over the spot that McCleary probably would have been standing at.
Yeah, that one headed towards the gap, maybe regardless, just depending on the shift that they would have put on the batter. But unfortunately for the Firebirds, they give up the run that they just got back in the bottom portion of the seventh.
Well, it was a hard-hit ball by Logan Bravo, who continues to hunt the Birds well this season. He is 2 for 4 tonight. Carson DiMartini in the box. Now Telfer with the 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike. Good breaking ball by Telfer. Trevor Werner singled, stole a bag, advanced to third on a pass ball, and came in to score on the hit by Bravo. They needed one hit to score the man who got on with a single. That skips in, gets away from Gilmet. The runner takes off, and he's going to get there without a throw. And I don't know about you, Luke, but to me, Gilmet looks a little bit hobbled as he's going after some of these pass balls and balls that skirt away.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that would be from. Maybe having something just kind of nagging him. Also, a little bit of different preparation, especially for the catchers when they plan on coming into the game versus when they don't, like Gilmet tonight.
Well, the catching cupboard is almost bare, as Ben at least started the night, and he jammed his catching hand on a play at the plate where he tried to spin around and tag Logan Bravo, and Bravo, coming in at a high rate of speed, ran straight into his catching arm. Here's the pitch. This is fouled back to the screen, out of play. So 2-2 the count. The only catcher that the Firebirds have that they have used so far this season, if Gilmet were to come out, is Connor Burns. Outside of that, the next man in line would likely be Jack Bolger.
Bolger or even Tommy Hopfe.
Yeah, who has spent time with the catcher so far. This is offered at and hit in the air, but it's going to flip out of play.
Telfer's had to battle to get outs here against the Whitecaps. Even when he's gotten back even in counts, they've forced him to throw a lot of pitches in order to send them back to the dugout.
Well, Telfer, who has allowed another earned run, just his second since the 5 he allowed against Brewster the first time around. The night he was the losing pitcher on June 16th. It's a 3-2 count. Get the feeling that the Firebirds' comeback chances might ride on this pitch. And it's ball 4. So 2 on as Curtis Byrne comes to the plate with 2 out. Kelly Nicholson is going to signal for the bullpen because the Firebirds were up 4-0. He pitched just the 9th, allowed no hits, no earned runs, walked 1 and struck out 2. and that was a no-hitter.
That it was. Quite a night for all of Bryce Worker, Josh Allen, and then Chris Clark to cap things off. Clark in that ninth inning did hit a batter and give up a walk to make things a bit interesting, but did not allow a hit or a run to cross the dish, capping off that combined no-hitter against the Chatham Anglers.
Yeah, not very often that you throw the last inning of a combined no-hitter and your opponent on base percentage is .400. But that was the case for Clark in the ninth, but he did his job, got 3 outs without allowing a hit. And the Firebirds celebrated what has been the shining moment of their season thus far. And it's been a much different story in this season since then. Picked up their first run in 15 innings in the bottom of the 7th, but with the bases loaded, couldn't play to anybody else. Runners in motion. Guilmette's up and throwing, and no, he's going to fake the throw. Didn't throw it at all. And they're going to have an easy steal of second and third on a surprise attack from the Brewster runners.
Yeah, double steal. They got the good jump off of Clark there, and Guilmette didn't have much of a choice but to keep it as this one pops out of the glove, but nobody will move.
So Guilmette has been a feature character in this inning. It hasn't all been positive. There's been a pass ball, a ball that escaped his vicinity that allowed the runner on third, Logan Bravo, to advance to second. Now DeMartini stole second as the pitch drops in for a strike. So Chris Clark with the infield pulled in. There's no force at any base. So the double play eliminated. Firebirds trailing 4-1. As Brewster has restored this 3-run advantage that they built in the 4th. Clark ready with the 2-1. That skips in. Guilmette back to work again. Kept it in front of him. It's 3-1. Clark comes set. Big 3-1 pitch coming. And it's strike 2. Burns steps in. And now Clark is ready. Big payoff pitch coming. He got him. Gets Byrne down on strikes. One pitch after Curtis Byrne thought he saw ball 4. The infield is going to relax and head back to normal depth as Clark trying to get out of this inning with only 1 run across for the Whitecaps.
Yeah, that is a beautifully executed pitch there from Chris Clark. Beat him with the outside fastball and a massive strikeout for out number 2.
Javier Vaz, who has reached base all 3 times at the plate, steps in and he rips this. Left field. Bolger going back, and he makes the catch just in front of the track. Clark with a point to his teammate out in left field. He does the job, comes in, gets the last 2 outs of the inning, and limits the damage to only 1 run across for the Whitecaps. Firebirds still within striking distance, but they got to get this offense in gear. We'll step aside briefly. On the Orleans Firebirds TV network, it's 4-1 Whitecaps. Welcome back on the Orleans Firebirds TV network. Jack Johnson alongside my partner, Luke Maley. It's a 4-1 game. Brewster leads it. They stretch their lead back to 3 in the top of the 8th inning as Logan Bravo singled in Trevor Werner, who came around to score for the 4th run. They built their 3-0 advantage back in the 4th with 3 runs. Jack Bolger steps in, and Luke, he's facing a new pitcher. The Oklahoma Sooner, Colton Sunhoff, is in the game.
Yeah, Sunloff out of Oklahoma, as you mentioned. This is a guy that has made 1 appearance this season for the Whitecaps. He just went 1 inning, struck out 1. Those are the only stats. No walks, no hits. So a really clean inning from Sunloff as he delivers the first strike to Bulger.
Bulger today, as he's down 0-1 in this count, has struck out twice and grounded into a double play. Far departure from the game he had at Chatham last night when he was 2 for 4. Sunloff's delivery misses down and in, and Sunloff comes with a sidearm angle. Looks like he's trying to almost punch a right hook at the batter from 60 feet 6 inches away. It's 1-1 to Jack Bulger. Bulger offered at it, and he definitely broke the minimum. So it's 1-2. At Oklahoma, Sunloff had a 6.86 ERA in 21 innings pitched. Here's the 1-2. Bulger strikes out. So 4-pitch see you later to Jack Bulger, and his third strikeout of the night. Been a night of frustration for 33.
That it has. He's coming off of a night where he was one of the lone bright spots in the lineup for the Firebirds. You could maybe make an exception for Kevin Sim, who was responsible for the lone RBI in that contest with a first inning double.
Kevin Sim, who represents one of the Firebirds' 7 hits tonight. First offering to Sim. This is down and in, ball 1. Another night where the Firebirds have gotten above 5 hits, but the scoring column does not reflect the amount of times they've made solid contact or got men on base. Sim hits this on a line into left center field. This one's down. Vaz is over to get it, and Sim is going to hold it first with a loud single with one away in the 8th.
So Kevin Sim continues his hot streak, his third single of the night, and the first hit of his Cape career given up. Colton Sunloff belongs to Kevin Sim.
Well, Sim has claimed a lot of victims so far this summer and coming to life once again over the last couple of outings. Had a RBI double in his last game. Kevin Sim with his first 3-hit night of the season. That misses low, and that's the opener to Austin Knight. The Firebirds down 3. There's one away in the bottom of the 8th. As a team, they have not mounted a comeback in such a setting to win a game. But down 4-1, they did score 3 in the 9th at Yarmouth Dennis earlier in the season.
They tied in that ball game, and then in the bottom of the 9th, it was a walk-off hit for Mike Bovey that made the difference in the ball game. 5-4, the final there.
That was on June 17th. This Cape season has flown by. Here's the delivery from Sunloff, and it misses low. Now 2-1 the count. They actually credited on the scoreboard Brewster with another hit instead of the Firebirds with their 8th of the night, but that is the Firebirds' 8th hit. Brewster with 9 on the night. The delivery inside, that misses. Austin Knight ahead in the count. Knight has come around to score the only run for the Birds in the 7th. That was off of a leadoff single. Also had a single in the 4th. 2 for 3 night for Austin Knight. The pitch. He's under this. He's hoping it gets out of play. Over at first is Menhem, giving chase to the netting, but it's on the terrace and foul. Brewster Whitecaps and the Orleans Firebirds in their 3rd matchup of the season. Brewster trying to go 2-0 thus far this season at Eldredge Park. Big 3-2 pitch coming. Knight draws a walk with one away and will move Kevin Sim up to second base. So Sim reaches second base for the third time tonight. Austin Knight on board for the third time tonight as well. There's another guy who's been swinging the bat well tonight. He's put the ball in play all 3 times. 2 ground outs and a single. Isaac Humphrey, the Louisville Cardinal, batting 6th tonight. First lefty that Sunloff has seen, and he misses down and in. You almost saw a little bit of an anxious grab of the cap from Sunloff after that delivery, Luke.
Yeah, he hasn't been in too many situations like this, especially not here in the Cape. He's pitched just 1 1/3 now after getting 1 out. First hit and the first walk issued by Sunloff here in this inning.
Oh, they're going to back pick over to first, and a bad throw does not get the runner Knight. A good one would have probably gotten him. Instead, Byrne had to throw behind Humphrey, and Humphrey was kind of trapped there from the left side of the box. There's never really a good place to go when you're trying to back pick to first base as a left-handed batter.
Yeah, Knight found himself way out in no man's land, but since Humphrey batting from the left side, Byrne had to go around him, and the throw tailed off into foul ground.
Humphrey, weak fly ball. This is going to stay on the infield. Sim's going to go back to the bag, and Freeland is going to catch it about 2 steps away from Sim, right behind the bag at second base. And for a guy that was struggling to find the zone, that is a little bit resembling of a bailout by Isaac Humphrey.
Yeah, and here comes Garrett Gilmet, who has been a little frustrated with the way the night has panned out for him, so maybe a little bit of an aggressive approach coming from Gilmet. See if he can jump on a fastball early in the count.
Well, swung at the first pitch and popped up to the pitcher the last time up. He does not offer at the first offering from Sunloff as it misses down and in for ball 1.
And that's the first time he hasn't offered at the first pitch, as he bounced out to third base in the 5th inning on the first pitch. Well, Gilmet waiting to see something in his wheelhouse that he could turn on. One swing of the bat could tie this ball game.
Here's the 1-0. Gilmet gives this a ride. This one's got a chance. It is way back in left field, and this ball is history. Garrett Gilmet ties the game, lights the lamp at Eldredge Park, and the Firebirds have come storming back in the 8th inning.
Well, there you go. He got one in the wheelhouse, and he got all of that baseball as it cleared the left field wall. And we are tied here at Eldredge at a score of 4-4.
Garrett Gilmet's first home run of the season is a big one against the Whitecaps. It ties this game at 4-4. It's the 9th hit of the night for the Birds.
Well, Jack, got a little bit of manifestation going on earlier in the game, and it didn't quite pan out the way that the Firebirds had hoped. This time for us, one swing of the bat, and we're tied.
And that swing of the bat feels like it has woken the Firebirds up from their slumber offensively.
Yeah, huge for the confidence, not only in the result of this game, but huge going forward, especially with 2 down and 2 on. The Firebirds were threatening to strand runners yet again. This time, it is Garrett Gilmet who had the answer.
Stinson with a good bunt in front of the mound. Dashing over is Sunloff on the first, and that's the 3rd out. But Sunloff comes in and gives up the 3-run homer to Garrett Gilmet. One of the best swings of the bat and one of the most important for the Firebirds this season. It's a tie game as we head to the top of the 9th. Chris Clark coming out for another inning of work. But you take a look at the replay. Gilmet driving one to left field to even the score at 4 apiece. And the Firebirds are not done yet in this game. Tie ball game as we head to the top of the 9th. We'll step aside on the Firebirds TV network.